The Lifestream Sequence, one of the most well written and in my opinion most important scene scenario in Final Fantasy VII. Why? Because of the importance it plays on not only the story, but the character arcs surrounding Cloud and Tifa. The Lifestream Sequence is not just only about Cloud. It is the closure that both of these characters get for the amount of trauma and all of the bad things that have happened to them, all coming to a closure and accepting each other, as well as accepting who they are in a beautiful sequence that to this day I think is still one of the best sequences in not only Final Fantasy VII, but in video games as well. Now, why am I talking specifically about a thing that hasn't occurred in the remake trilogy? Why? Because there's a lot of people out there who believe that the Lifestream Sequence should be changed, that instead of Tifa it should be a different character, or that Tifa shouldn't be involved at all, or it should be played out very differently. And to me, whenever I see that, I just think that the person who says this doesn't understand characters and the story itself. Because there's a reason why this sequence happens. There's a reason why only Cloud and Tifa are involved in this sequence. And if you think the reason why is because it's a shipping moment between Cloud and Tifa, you are incredibly wrong. Yes, people use it as a shipping moment, but that's not what that scene is about. It's about both characters finding that closure with each other, with the only people who actually were involved in a lot of the memories that you see in the Lifestream Sequence. It's between both of them. It's Cloud being saved by Tifa and Tifa being saved by Cloud because of the shared trauma and experience they had to go through. The amount of so much PTSD that they experienced throughout not only what happened in Nibelheim, but throughout the entire game. It's essentially the closure that they both need. And I don't like the idea that people are suggesting it should include other people or it should replace Tifa with somebody else, because at its core that just changes the entire sequence, and not for the better, not for the good of the story. No matter what anyone says, it just doesn't. And I'm here to not only defend but also tell you why it doesn't work. So hopefully you enjoy this video, and hopefully I explain it as best as I can. And yes, it will go into spoilers for something that will happen in part 3. So if you don't want to be spoiled because of that, I fully understand. But I do want to talk about this because it is a common discourse that has been happening on Twitter, x.com, between the Final Fantasy VII community. And I just really don't like it when people take that scene for granted or don't understand that scene at all. Because it's my favorite scene and I will defend it no matter what. So, in order to start, I think what I need to get through to people is that yes, the scenario is called the Lifestream Sequence, but it doesn't directly happen in the Lifestream. It doesn't. The Lifestream is full of memories, dreams, hopes that we learn from not only Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but also from the Ultimania and, devs' comments. So, of course, it's connected in some sort of way to repairing and fixing Cloud after he is shocked, stunned by what he does in the North Crater. And it's all leads back to those memories, to how not only Cloud has been traumatized by that, but also the S cells, the J cells, the Hojo experiments, all that all leads to his mind breaking and leads to that sequence. But the first thing that needs to be known is that it all happens in Cloud's subconscious. It doesn't happen in the Lifestream. It happens in his mind, in his subconscious. Why do we know this? Because in between the moment where Cloud and Tifa fall into the Lifestream and the actual sequence of happening, we see Tifa running around or looking for some sort of light, but all she sees is darkness and she starts getting scared. She calls out for Cloud for help. And what does Cloud do? He helps her by pulling her into his subconscious, a place that if you carefully look at Rebirth and remake to an extent. It's a place where he doesn't want his feelings, his emotions, his memories leaking out to anybody. He protects it like you protecting your money in a safe. He doesn't want people to go into his head. Even when he's a kid, he doesn't really necessarily go talk about, his feelings, and he's a loner by choice, by the way, and he doesn't want people getting into his mind, getting into his head. There's only one person he has allowed into his mind, or even talked about, what he's feeling, about what he's going through, which we see in Rebirth in the Gongaga scene when Cloud and Tifa are alone. He talks about it with her. And in the Lifestream sequence, before it starts, he pulls her into his subconscious because he trusts her. He trusts her enough to bring him into his memories because of his, infatuation with her. You could deny his infatuation all you want, but he has some strong feelings for Tifa, and it's been there since childhood. And you see it through these memories during the Lifestream sequence. Another thing to prove to you that it is inside his subconscious is that in the Japanese version of the game, when you go to the pause menu, most of the time you see like the location of where you are in the game. In the English version, it's the same thing. However, in this specific sequence, in the English version, you don't get a name. You don't even get a location. But in Japanese version, you do get a name. A mind world or something like that. I don't remember the exact naming of it. But it is basically Cloud's mind. That's where they are. Because they're trying to work together, both Cloud and Tifa, to try and help Cloud become the real Cloud. The real Cloud breaks through in very small moments throughout Remake and Rebirth. But he doesn't fully come out because he is trapped inside his own subconscious because of his twisted memories of Zack's stories, of the Genova cells, of the Sephiroth cells, of Hojo's experience, his trauma, him trying to protect himself from experiencing all of the trauma that he goes through. His mind prevents him from being the real him because he wants to be something else. He wants to be this soldier, this badass, this cool guy that essentially comes from the promise he made with Tifa, about being a hero. But he's confused because Tifa doesn't like him because he's a soldier or because of a hero. And you can confirm it in Trace of Two Paths that she liked him because he was just an ordinary boy that she thought was just out of reach for her. Because of the way he acted, where he didn't want to hang out with her and the others and stuff like that. She thought that, he was this other person, this cool person, or like this person that just was beyond her reach, where she couldn't touch him. But when she found out that he was a normal boy, that's when she started being infatuated with him. And that's why it's important. And it's important to know this, not just because I'm saying it for shipping or anything like that. It's because part of that is a way to save and recover his memories. It's part of it. The memories you go through in the Lifestream sequence, a lot of that has to do, or most of it has to do with Tifa, which is why Tifa is the only one that should be in the Lifestream sequence. She's the only one who can help. Someone mentioned to me once that the only reason Tifa is there because she was in Nibelheim. Well, of course, she was in Nibelheim, but you're completely ignoring Cloud's personal feelings about Tifa ever since he was a child. You're completely ignoring it and just saying that because for some reason you don't want Tifa to be a part of it, when she is essential to it. Because it's a character arc for both of them. It's a closure for everything they have experienced since Nibelheim. It's all for their character arcs to finally come to an end, and they share, this intimate moment between each other to figure everything out and eventually become, or understand, that no matter what kind of trauma they have gone through, that they can be themselves again, that they can essentially be, relieve this guilt, relieve this trauma that they've experienced for so long. That's why the Lifestream sequence is important. Don't even care about shipping. You don't even have to think about shipping for this, because it's about their characters, and it goes with the story about how, they have to bring the real Cloud out, bring him back to defeat Sephiroth. And it's so baffling that so many people think that Tifa can be replaced with, like, there's Red 13, someone said Red 13, someone said Aerith, but none of them can help him the way Tifa can. Part of that is because of the memories that you have to go through. Like, you could have put Red 13 there, you could put Aerith there, but how are they going to help when they have no memories at all about any of the events that you go through in Cloud's mind? They can't help him at all. Only Tifa can. That's why she's essential for that scene. She has memories. Throughout the entire story, she gets confused by her own memories because they don't line up with Cloud's memories. And that's in part a reason why Cloud's memories need to be fixed. Because he doesn't know it himself, because he's trying to be something that he's not. He's trying to create this persona that doesn't exist or isn't the real him. And Tifa has to help him piece together these memories so that he knows. The moment the real Cloud comes out before this sequence is the moment that Sephiroth and Jenova technically lose control of Cloud. That's why it's important. That's why these memories are important. And Tifa's the only one that can help because of the shared memories and because of his strong emotion, his strong feelings about Tifa. And it's said in the Lifestream Sequence itself about his feelings for her. And to think that anyone else can do it is just really weird, and just, to me, it's just a terrible reading on what that sequence actually means. So let's talk a little bit about the life sequence very shortly. The life sequence, they go through each memories. You go through the promise that they made in the water tower. You go through when they first arrived in Nibelheim. You go through when Tifa, at the lowest point in her life after her mom died, decides she wants to go to Mount Nibel to see her mom because of some story the adults talked about how, like, the spirits of the dead go to, like, the other side of Mount Nibel, right? And she does that, and Cloud is trying to, prevent her from going too far because it's dangerous. And it leads to them falling. Cloud tries to protect her, but he can't protect her fully. And essentially, it starts, the whole thing about how Tifa and him, start to slowly separate. And it's such an amazing scene to witness with all these memories, because of how important those memories are, and they all connected with Tifa. There's so much connected with Cloud's mind and Cloud's belief and feelings, that it's baffling to me that some people think that it should be someone else. It just doesn't work that way. That's not how the sequence plays out, right? And even in the Lifestream Sequence itself, they both get the revelation that they need about why Cloud wanted to become a soldier, why he wanted to do, be this person for Tifa, is because he wanted her to notice him. It's all written in the actual sequence. You just gotta replay it and see it for yourself. All of this is them trying to get to not only know each other more deeper, but try to understand each other and why they did things as kids, and why they both feel strong feelings for one another, and why they have these shared memories, and why they are important to each other. That's what helps Cloud regain his memory, because the moment Cloud remembers the events that happen, he becomes his real self. He doesn't become this first soldier persona he puts on in the very beginning of the game and in Remake, because that's just part of him thinking that he's doing or has the same experience as Zack did. But that's not what happened. In Crisis Core, you see that's not what happens, right? So it's just such a good, well-written scene about not only helping Cloud, but also helping Tifa, because Tifa has gone through so much with the whole Nibelheim incident, and her worries about, Cloud losing himself and feeling sort of responsible that she couldn't help him. It all leads to both of them having closure about all of this, and leading the way to essentially defeat Sephiroth, so that then Aerith can do her job in the live stream. That's why this sequence is so cherished among the Final Fantasy VII community, and why, like, it's important for both characters. You cannot replace the characters because of some agenda you want to spread or want to believe that the developers will change. That's not how that works. It just doesn't. You essentially, like, you need Cloud in order to defeat Sephiroth. But how can other characters that are not Tifa help Cloud in this situation when none of the memories are about any of the other characters? The only person you could make some sort of claim is Zack, but not even Zack will be able to help him. Because at this point, especially in the OG, Zack isn't alive, right? He's not. In the OG, he's not alive. And maybe in the trilogy they could do something in regards to it, but it wouldn't make any sense because this moment is for them. It is for them. It resolves so many of the internal conflict that both Cloud and Tifa go through throughout the entire story. It does that, and it's for both of them because it not only is it such an important moment for the story and getting Cloud back to normal so that he could go and defeat Sephiroth, but for their characters. It's Cloud saving Tifa and Tifa saving Cloud. They both help each other. That is why the sequence is so important. And it's just... I just wish people would replay it because it's such a great sequence that you don't even have to think about shipping at all for it to be amazing. It's an amazing character-driven, well-written sequence. And it should be seen as that. It should be seen as something for both characters to finally get that resolution, to get that closure for all the trauma they experience, so that they could go and defeat Sephiroth. Because now they are now right in their minds that now they are able to have that confidence, that belief that they can stop Sephiroth, because now they understand what the truth is, understand all of this. That's why the Lifestream Sequence is important, and to have any other character be involved in it would just be a disservice to not only the original scene but to both characters. So I wanted to talk about this because I see it all the time, and it's just frustrating to see this being a topic of discussion. Like, it doesn't require any sort of shipping agenda or anything else to see how important it is to not only the story but to both characters. So I wanted to talk about it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I convinced you in some sort of way to, see why it is important for both characters and why only Tifa can be involved in it. And if not, all I say is just replay. And if you still don't think that, I guess we'll just have to wait for part 3 to see what they do, which I think they will keep it a moment between Cloud and Tifa, especially since they already teased it in Rebirth. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And hopefully you enjoy, the rest of your day. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.